Every game asks you to sacrifice something: a potion, an item, a life. But the biggest sacrifice I've made for games is not playing them. And I don't mean because I stopped liking them. It's because somewhere along the way, life started asking me for the same kind of trades games do. Except the stakes were higher. Sacrifice isn't just a choice sitting in front of you. It's a constant variable shaping every move, from the smallest click to major shifts in your life's skill tree. You can mourn what you lose, but if you pay attention, sacrifice can teach you how to move faster, think clearer, and sometimes even find truth in places you didn't expect. Sometimes, the move that looks wrong on paper, the one nobody else would make, is the sacrifice that gives you objective truth, the pragmatism that wins you the run. How do we define sacrifice? The word tends to sound overly dramatic or purposeful. I know, I've already said the word more than a couple of times, and I can only picture paying the ultimate price in my head. But I've heard people use it when they use Splenda instead of sugar in their smoothie. Bear with me a little. This is as much yours as it is mine. When I sit down at night and I don't boot up a game, it's not because I lost the drive to play. It's because I chose to spend that time with my family or building this channel. That doesn't mean the gamer part of me died. It just means I'm leveling up my main account. Back when I thought I'd be a pro skateboarder, until my traumatologist aunt warned me I'd need bolts in my ankles, I saw only two paths left: art and video games. In Venezuela, there wasn't a school for games, so I went into design. That's where I first heard about a role called art director. I learned they were the ones who shaped the look and feel of games, and I thought, that's it. That's the job. That's the future. Now, I know there are entire departments and specialties and pipelines. But at that time, knowledge like that was niche, and in some places, still is. All I knew was, no matter what, my career was going to have something to do with games. So yeah, they have always been at the center for me. In games, sacrifice is a mechanic. In life, it's inevitable. But in both, it defines the path you take. When I think about sacrifice in my own life, three things always rise to the surface. Each one stings in a different way, and each one has taught me something different. The first of those is the most obvious: game time itself. It's not that I don't crave it. I do. All the time. But when life asks you to spend those hours differently, you realize you only get so many save slots in a day. I've always known how lucky I am to be surrounded by people who show love unapologetically. That's why time with them has never felt like a sacrifice. The real sacrifice is what gets pushed out of the slot to make room for them. And lately, with the workload being the mother load, game time is what ends up on the bench. The one thing keeping me inspired is this channel. It's starting to feel like true escapism, a way to ease the sting of lost game time, because making this requires authenticity, creativity, and of course, games. Then there's friendship. It is not a secret to any gamer how much of a sacrifice this really is. However, I'll confess, I like the solo queue, and it's not because I don't love playing with friends, but because my passion sometimes, admittedly, gets in the way. The love of the game beats the need to be agreeable. I'm too intense, to the point where it can be annoying. Eso es lo que pasa. But my point is, outside of gaming, friendships are still one of the things I value most. So a crazy and harsh reality to accept is the sacrifice of friends for sanity. Joyful connection for fear of confrontation. Meaningful moments for misunderstandings. Even truth just for the sake of a joke. I've fought hard not to lose connections, to never miss the chance to live and share moments with people who became family. Everlasting moments where the sentences blended together in different minds because of the unspoken rule that speaks. Right now is good. But I've also had to sacrifice pieces of myself to see clearly that maybe I'm the problem. My jokes were just mine. The competition was in my head alone. That realization comes with its own sacrifice, a version of myself. And sure, you could say, but you gain so much more. Maybe, but the reality is, practicing this level of self-awareness can easily tilt into depression, especially when the value you bring isn't met with equal enthusiasm. Basically, it's called growing up. Now, those sessions are rare. They've been replaced with shorter calls, quick check-ins, and more often than not, nothing at all. The bond isn't gone, but the party composition has shifted. Always keep in mind, you might sacrifice sanity, time, and even joy, but seeing your peeps in person will weave that connection silk back, just like you platinumed Hollow Knight Silk Song. And lastly, there's privacy. Starting this channel, I gave up the safety of being invisible. I put my voice, my ideas, my thoughts into the world, knowing full well not everyone will like them. But just like in games, once you uncloak, you can't go back. That's part of the sacrifice too. I value privacy the same way I value truth. And I know that might sound counterproductive because it's almost impossible for me not to be outspoken, to be honest about how I feel or what I think, all the time. But I can guarantee the statement holds true because there's a question I've asked myself throughout my entire life. Who are you really, if the version of you that you have in your mind only exists around other people? This doesn't mean living as an open book. It means that when you speak, it's because you truly believe what you're saying, no matter the situation. Integrity is what you do when no one is watching. Don't cut traffic just because you know you can get away with it. The point isn't whether anyone's watching. It's whether your actions match the person you claim to be. And honesty ties back to privacy. Because privacy isn't about hiding. It's about protecting the space where your choices are made. And that's where life changes the equation. When you live alone, privacy is default. Your choices fall only on you. As of this recording, I've been married and lived with immediate family longer than I ever lived single. My choices now ripple outward. They affect others every day, no matter the scale. I still cherish my moments alone, which is not the same as being lonely. I have felt loneliness in my thoughts, yes, but I don't dwell there. So if privacy is the sacrifice to avoid falling into that rabbit hole, then it's a trade I'm willing to make. What ties all of this together is simple. Sacrifice isn't about losing what you loved. It's about choosing what you'll carry forward in this run. Every inventory has a limit. We can only hold what we decide to keep, maybe with an extra attachment slot if we're lucky. Sacrifice isn't destruction, it's motion, a loop. Nothing is gone, it's just been chosen by the version of you that wanted more. Thank you for listening. I'll see you on the next one.